Who doesn't love sending objects flying through the air? In this video, your challenge is to create your mini catapult, like this. So I created a basic sketch with some rough dimensions and a basic idea of what I wanted to do. In this example, unlike the slingshot car, I'm not going to do a detailed sketch of each view. I'm going to sort of decide on dimensions and adapt them in Tinkercad as I go along. There are benefits and there are challenges to this approach. It often means redoing parts in CAD, but the benefit is you can see how things fit together and how they look together more accurately in CAD than you can in a two-dimensional sketch. Let's start designing this mini catapult and let's launch right into it. Pun intended. Let's start with the base because that's where we can build everything from. It gives us the rough dimensions. It allows us to see how things look. So the base is going to be basically a rectangular prism, otherwise known as a box. And I'm going to drag this in and I'm going to make it the rough dimensions of my sketch. 80 by 30 millimeters. Great. Now I didn't put height, but I'm going to choose 5 millimeters, which is half a centimeter. I found that's great for sturdiness, but not too high where it takes more time and more plastic to print. Now I could just use this platform as my base. However, I want to save time and plastic, so I'm going to hollow out the middle and I'm going to drag in a hole. Now I'm going to size this hole 80 by 30 to be the exact same size as my base. And I'm going to drag it over roughly. Now I need to make it smaller. And what do I want the thickness of the walls to be? 5 millimeters, just like the height. So I have to reduce this 80 by 10, which brings it down to 70, which makes it 5 on either side. And I need to reduce this 30 to 20. Let's line it all up. Center this way, center this way. We've used the line tool many times, so you know how to do that by now. I'm going to select both of them and group them. All right. That looks really good. However, I want to make this look prettier. And one way to make this look prettier is to round these corners. I showed you one way of doing this using the radius tool. But I'm going to show you another way. And if you've used other CAD software, you might have heard the term fillet, which is basically rounding the corners. By rounding these corners, it also gives me the chance to show you some features in Tinkercad I haven't talked about that can be really powerful. And that's shape generators. So if I come over here to basic shapes, click on it, go all the way down to shape generators. These are 3D objects that were coded and have different parameters you can change. For example, the one right here is a screw thread, and this allows you to 3D print different screw threads. If you click on here, there's all sorts of parameters you can change, like the diameter, the pitch, the segments. It's extremely useful and helpful, and someone has done all the coding for you for that. But we're going to click search, and we're going to search up something called meta fillet. Here it is, and I'm going to drag it in. The other thing I want you to know is there's this yellow star here. That's because I have favorited it. I'm going to unclick it. What you'll probably see is no yellow star. If you click on the star, you favorite it. That way, if you need it again, I'm going to hit the X. I can come up here and click favorites. And here it is in my favorites, meta fillet. All right, so how do you use this meta fillet? Well, let's start with the height. The height we want to be 5. And a radius, I want to do 3. Okay, that made it much smaller. Let's move it over here to the corner and see what that looks like. Okay, that's a nice rounded corner. I don't know if I want exactly 3, so let's click on that. And I want to make it a little higher than 5 so I can access it. Let's do 4 for the radius. Update that. That looks pretty good. All right, now I need to make sure it's lined up perfectly. So select both, align, over to the top, and I can see it is lined up with this edge and this edge. Awesome. So I'm going to take this and turn it into a hole. And then I'm going to select both objects and group it. And you got that nice rounded corner. Perfect. I'm going to undo that because I need to do that on all 4 corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, duplicate it, and I'm going to zoom in and move it down 30. Okay. Then I'm going to click on the mirror tool and click here. Moved it a little too far. That's okay. I'm dragging it roughly into place, and then I'm going to use the align tool to make sure it's perfectly aligned. So I'm going to hold shift, click on the base, click align tool. Remember, click on the base again so the base doesn't move, and orbit around and make sure everything is lined up. So it's aligned on this edge. It's aligned on this edge. Perfect. Great. Now I got to do the other 2 corners. So I'm going to click on this fillet, hold shift, click on the other fillet, hit duplicate, and I'm going to drag them this way, roughly to the edge. I'm going to click on this mirror tool, click on this arrow to flip it, to see if that's what I want. Yep, it is. That looks pretty good. I'm going to pan over here. Looks pretty good, but I'm going to still make sure they're aligned. I'm going to click on this one, hold shift, click the align tool, and click on the base so it doesn't move. You'll see that this dot is not lined perfectly up on this edge, so it wasn't aligned perfectly. Now it is. Let's orbit around to see the other side. Yep, that's right. All right, so let's click on this one, hold shift, click on the base, click the align tool, click on the base again. This also wasn't lined up on the edge. Align it over there. So it's perfect. Looks good. Now I'm going to select everything using click and drag, group, and I got my beautiful rounded corners. You may be thinking, that seems like a lot of work for rounded corners. True, but I do feel like it looks much nicer and brings it to the next level, as well as teaches you some new skills. Now that I have my base, let's bold up the arms. So I'm going to click on favorites, go back to basic shapes, and grab another box. I want it to be 5 millimeters thick of this, and I want to make it 80 tall. I'm going to make mine 20 millimeters wide. Now I could keep this on top here as a square, but I want to make it look nicer. I want to round it. And there are 2 ways to do that. I could use this block here and add that on top to round it and make it look the way I want. Or I could use that fillet tool again. And I'm going to use the fillet tool just so you can see what it looks like again. And I'm going to this time go to favorites. But before I actually drag it in, I'm going to change the work plane to make my life easier for this. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put the work plane on here, and then I'm going to drag it in. That way I know it's lined up. Let's click on this fillet. Let's change this to 10 to see what that looks like. Keep the height as 8. Let's move this up here, roughly. Let's hold shift, click on here, click align. I'm going to click on this so it doesn't move, and line it up this way and up and down that way. All right, let's duplicate this, move it roughly to the other side, and mirror it. That's going to look pretty good at 10. And 10 makes sense because remember the holding is 20, so that'll make it nice and rounded. Let's line it up though. So click off of it, click on this fillet, hold shift, click on this part, align, click on the base so it doesn't move. You want to align it that way and that way. That looks good. Okay, so let's turn these to holes and let's bring them into the work plane so that they actually are holes. Oops, that's too far. See how there's a little red there? There we go. So I made it thicker than 5 millimeters because I can, and it gives me a little extra leeway. Select both. Let's group it. And I have this beautiful rounded top. I'm going to move the work plane bottom, and you saw how fillets work there. Before I group this, I'm going to duplicate it to the other side. So duplicate. I'm going to move that duplicate to the other side. I'm going to make sure they're all aligned in the center. So let's select everything, click align, click on the bottom so it doesn't move, and say align center. That looks pretty good. All right, what about the holes to put the axle through? So I'm going to go to basic shapes and click on the cylinder. Before I drag it out, I'm going to move the work plane and drag in the cylinder. And I'm going to make it a 9 by 9, and I'm going to make it 35 long. Okay, that looks pretty good. I need to center it, so I'm going to select everything and click Align, click on the base, and let's orbit around to really get to that center dot. There it is. There we go. All right, now I'm going to click on it, and I am going to drag it in. Now, I could have done this on one side and then duplicated. I could also make different size holes on each side, and there is an advantage to that I'll talk about later. So where do I want this hole? I'm not exactly sure, and honestly, depending on whether I'm going for distance or aim, I want the option to have different holes that the axle can go through on the base and on the arm. So I'm going to make multiple holes. That's the power of this. So I'm going to use the pattern technique. I'm going to click on this hole, hit duplicate, and I'm using the arrow key to bring it straight down. I'm eyeballing it to see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to hit duplicate again. And that way I have 3 holes that look pretty good spaced out from each other. Let's select everything and group. All right, let's put the work plane back down, and that looks pretty good. I may look at the thickness of this part and say, maybe I want it a little thicker for some stability. But I could also add some stability by adding some support structures there if I wanted to. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. All right, there are 2 other parts I need to do here. I need to do something on the back here to hold down the catapult while you're launching with your finger. And then I need a connection point for the elastic band or spring. Let's do the hold down. What I'm going to do is I am going to use this rounded roof, and I am going to rotate it this way 90 degrees. Okay. And then I'm going to rotate it this way 90 degrees. And I'm going to make it 3 millimeters high. I'm going to line this up. Okay. Oh, it's below the work plane, you notice, after I rotated it, so I can just hit D to get it back on the work plane. And now I'm going to select both, use the Align tool to center them, click on the base. Don't like how sometimes Tinkercad puts the dot way over there for the center instead of right next to it. But if you orbit around, the dots can change, so I'm going to do that because it makes more sense this way. All right, that looks pretty good, except there's a gap there, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to use the left arrow to move it, close that gap. This distance is 10. I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to make it 15 to give a little more room for my finger. And I'm going to group it. Okay, that looks really good, but I need some loop here to hook up the elastic, as you can see from the sketch. And I'm going to use this tube tool. And you'll notice here there's something called the radius and wall thickness. Wall thickness is the thickness of the material here. And here it's only 2.5. I want it a little thicker. I'm going to make it 3.3 to get my wall thickness a little thicker. I can also bevel it, which makes it a little smoother on the sides like that. And I'm going to do that, eyeball it roughly like that, because I think that will make it look nicer and also make it easier for the elastic band or spring to be clipped onto. So I'm going to choose a thickness of 3.3 millimeters this way. And in terms of radius, I'm going to choose half of 5, which is 2.5, because that's the thickness I need there. Let's take a look at that. Okay, what's great about doing things in CAD is you can make these measurements and think, that looks good in theory, but when you look at it in CAD, you're like, that does not look good. So let's rotate it and see what it actually looks like, but I don't think that will be a big enough hole, and I think this might be too thick. So I rotate it 90 degrees. I'm going to hit D, and then I'm going to bring it up 2.5. Because remember, this is 5 millimeters thick, and I'll bring it up halfway. Okay, that looks okay. All right, let's try the wall thickness as 2. Just for an extreme example, what would it look like if it was 1? Okay, that would be a little more gap. But 1 millimeter is really thin and breakable, so I am going to keep it at 2. And what if I unbevel it? See what that looks like. That's not bad. Maybe it's a little too thick this way. Let's change this to 2.5. That looks pretty good. All right, we'll have to try it, see what it looks like. I think it'll be okay. But it's not centered. So let's click on this, hold Shift, click Align, click on the base so the base doesn't move, and center it. Basically, I need enough space in here for elastic band or a spring to fit through. How do I know if there's enough space in there for elastic or spring? Let's click on this. We know the wall thickness is 2. And we know the radius, which means from here to here, is 2.5, which means this should be 0.5 of a millimeter, which seems a little small to me. So I'm going to actually increase this radius a little bit to 3, which pops it out a little bit. It doesn't look as nice, but I think it will work better. And part of the problem is I chose 5 millimeters here as my thickness. So I'm going to do a little bit of adapting here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to raise this finger apart so it's the same height at 5. Hold Shift, group that. That way I can make this bigger radius with the wall thickness still being 2 and it not look as weird. So let's do this at 4, and then I can shift it over here a little bit. All right, let's group it. And there we have it. And I want you to note that as I did this, I changed some things. I designed it differently. I want to quickly show you another way I could have made more space. I'm going to ungroup. And the other way I could have done it is by stretching it out so it's not a perfect ring. Like that. So I'm changing the hole size in there and more space and making it not a perfect circle. I want to keep it a perfect circle. I think it looks nicer. It's cleaner. That looks pretty good. Let's group it. And we are done with the base.